here with another falconry video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how to getting a new falcon, or any new bird of prey for that matter, to eat off the fist. Now, you have to understand that the language of trust with birds of prey is food. And the reason is, I always say this, and please share this phrase because it's so true. Out in nature, everybody wants to kill you and take your food, or kill you and make you food. The only exception to that is your parent or your mate. And your parent will still do that once you've left the nest. You suddenly become competition out in the field. So building trust with food is very important. Now, when it comes to other animals you may have worked with, a cat or a dog, even pigeons, anything like that, even a horse, then you can have food be a reward. Like, oh, good dog, here, you get a treat. And because of that, then that's kind of the attitude we think, is that it's just sort of a little bit of a reward. That's not the case with birds of prey. That food is a language of trust. Now, because of that, a dog, even if it doesn't trust you, you chuck it some food, it's like, oh boy, a snack, a treat, it's so excited. And that's not the case with birds of prey. If a bird of prey doesn't trust you, it's not going to take food from you, because the act of accepting food is the act of social bonding. And so we use that to build trust. And that is why you can have a bird from the wild train very quickly. There's some birds that, 5 to 8 days from being trapped from the wild are able to be flown totally free, because that trust is established. Now, this merlin, so new, she doesn't even have a name yet. I haven't named her yet, and she's never even been here. I'm here at the Hutchings Museum, and there's a lot of reflections around of the glass and stuff, and she's seeing this, so she's a little more nervous than normal. But what we're going to try to do is, I first want to reestablish trust. So first thing I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to give her a little tidbit. This is how she has been being eaten. So I'm going to put that out for her, and there you go. Now you can see her first response when I came up slowly. Her mouth was open and kind of in a threat posture, like, oh, is this guy going to attack me? That was, and then I put the food in and she's like, oh, okay, I'll eat that. That's good. Now, a lot of times a bird will not do that first. When you're first, and I'm past this stage of training, I'm a day into this, but normally at first they might just sit there. And if you put a piece of food in their mouth, let me give her another little tidbit here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put that there. And she's taking that pretty readily, that's good. If she took that food and wouldn't swallow it and was just still in a state of shock, I come in and I'll try to gently touch the side of the beak, so that then they go to kind of bite you and they're like, oh wait, no, there is more food in my mouth, and usually they'll eat it down. Now, in this process, normally the meats we use, they're kind of dry. So I haven't done this today, but a lot of times I'll have like a little dinner plate or a little saucer with water, and I'll just kind of give it a little dip in the water, so that way they can swallow it easy. Because sometimes a bird in this state, it's breathing mouth open, its mouth is drier, if it's still kind of acclimating to you. So you want to be sure to let them take that down easily so they don't get dehydrated, and also just so it doesn't get kind of stuck in their mouth. Not stuck in a dangerous way, but just when they're kind of in that mindset, having wet food, then that kind of translates as this is wet food, therefore it's fresh food. It's not just some dead meat that you thawed out or are now giving them. And so that usually triggers more of a response to swallow the food. Now, I have a quail leg here that I've mostly plucked. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to give this to her. Now, I have been feeding her little tidbits to the mouth, right? I've just been coming up here, giving little pieces of food. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hand her this whole quail leg, and she might drop it, but hopefully the weight of it will she'll kind of pull down with it, and then it'll be down by her feet. Now then, what I'm going to do is, hopefully she'll just eat it. If she doesn't, I'm going to scratch her toes to elicit a physical response. This is very dangerous, because right now, this bird can fly away. In her mindset, she's looking at me, but she can fly. Everything that she has that is dangerous is facing me, which is her beak, and her talons. So if I was going to attack her, this is the most safe position she can be in. Also, her wings are facing away from me. Birds do not want their back turned towards you because their wings are their escape. The front of their body is their defense, the back of their body is their escape. You see this also with other birds, like you'll see it with chickens and pheasants, where if a hawk flies overhead, they push up their elbows and fluff up their butt fluff as a defense, because they know if the bird grabs them, then they got to have their wings ready to jump up. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you there. So that's very important to understand that. So we're going to see what she'll do, and I'm going to try to give her this quail leg. Let's see if she wants it. She might jump. Okay. So see how she's kind of holding on, but it's heavy? This is what we want. Oh, she's a little nervous there, but that's good. That was a good run through. We're going to try this again. We're going to give it to her, and she's going to take it down, and she's going to hopefully try to hold it with her feet. Now that she on her own feels like she dropped it, I'm going to put it there down below, and what I'm actually going to do is, I'm going to scratch her toes a little, so she'll jump at it again. There we go. Now perfect. This is what we want, is we want her using her 2 inner talons on both of her toes to pin it down. Then she can pull at it and pull against where she's holding it down. Okay, there we go. Perfect. This is exactly what we want. Oh, she's doing wonderful. Better than I had hoped for this. So this is really good. This is what we want. She's eating in front of me, but more importantly, look, each time she's bending her head down in front of me and looking back up. So I'm going to put my hand over here, which makes a potential threat. And look, she's still bending down, taking a bite, and tearing that up. This is really good. This is social bonding. This is telling her you're safe, you can be trusted, you can eat in front of me, but more importantly, you can expose the back of your head down in front of me. That bending down in front, it's not a submissive thing like maybe with, I don't know, a dog or something. It's not a submissive posture, but it is a vulnerable posture, a posture that makes her more at risk of being attacked by me. So her bending down and eating in front of me is normal. Now you notice after, it's kind of a big piece there. Let's turn that off for you. Here, let me take that. Whoa. Okay, I'm gonna take that and give that to her a second. Now you'll notice that each time she takes a bite, she'll take a bite and then she'll look up. Take a bite, look up. This is normal for raptors. And again, because anything out there, if you're eating, another predator might see you eating and think, oh, this bird is focused on the kill. I can run in and kill them and eat their kill and eat them. And so the reason why she looks up after each bite is to make sure the coast is clear. Now, one of the interesting things is sometimes if you have an imprint raptor that you raise, there's a big old bite there. Oh, by the way, on this quail leg, I have taken game shears and I have gone in and snipped the bone the whole length into tiny little pieces so that she's still getting the calcium and the bone marrow, but she's also not going to choke on anything. I want her to have really small bites so that she feels safe to do this and tear this apart. Oh, dropped a piece there. So, but again, the bending over, bending forward like that is a way that we are building trust, like by leaps and bounds. This is the first time she's done this, first time she's eaten off the fist. She's doing a very good job. Let me give her that other piece. And this is just going to really speed up the whole process. There we go. Now, birds of prey do need to eat bone. They need to eat some feathers. They'll pluck some, but they don't eat plants at all. And so to get a lot of these vitamins and a lot of these nutrients and a lot of these minerals, they get it from the animals they eat. And so they need to eat bones and guts and all that kind of gross stuff. They need that, and that is the case. Okay, so she did really good here. There's a little piece on the ground I'll give her after I'm done feeding, because I know when I bend over she's going to jump. That'll spook her. But she's done really good. You can see her posture. She's now she's doing this, she's passing some of that down through her crop and just kind of getting it down through her system. So this went really well. I'm very happy with how this went, and this just shows you these are the first steps. Do not be frustrated if it doesn't happen this smooth. I did not expect it to be this smooth. I thought it would be a lot. So remember, scratching the toes is the way to get the bird to look down. The bird is still getting used to you, to the surroundings, to everything that's new and foreign and scary. And so in order to feel safe, you just have to have time, you have to have acclimation. And so if you're trying to get them to eat off of the fist, which again, you're trying to get the bird to bend down and expose the back of their head in front of you, which is dangerous for them. So they're focused on you. They're like, I'm watching you. I know there's food below me, but I'm focused on you. I can't. And so what you got to do is you scratch the toes. Anytime you scratch the toes, the bird's going to look down. Just do it very gently and do a whistle. You know, I whistle, I do to let my bird know it's time to eat or to call them. So if I wasn't doing this video, I'd be doing that. Every time I put food down in front, I'd be whistling. So the steps we have gone through initial flying, eating tidbits like this. Then we've gone to eating off the fist. I'm going to do this for the next few days, but the next step is going to be to wed this bird to the lure. The lure is how you get your bird back and how you get your bird out of a bad situation. And in the case of merlins, stooping them to the lure is also great fun, great exercise, and a great thing to do. So this bird, we will get her up and running to that next stage, and I will show you how I introduce the lure in an upcoming video. But I hope you enjoyed seeing this stage of the progress. And again, she doesn't have a name yet, so if she doesn't have a name by the time this video comes out, feel free to give any suggestions of what you think her name should be. And hope you enjoyed seeing that. And if you haven't already, please hit subscribe. It very much helps me to keep this channel up and running. I know everybody always asks that, but I really do appreciate it. And again, if you have questions or comments, you can not only do them in the comments, but also send your messages to benwoodrufffalconry@gmail.com, and I will try to do some videos where I just go through and do Q&As and just go through all those questions and answer them. So again, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed merlins because they're such a fun species to work with. And as always, happy hawking.